Good morning, everyone. This is Bonnie and Greg Dixon here, and our guest is Hanna Kinez. And she's currently sitting in Poland, but she's been almost everywhere. And a couple of things that I just met Hanna a couple of days ago, and a couple of things that really stuck out is she has some health program, KinesioSomatic. That's a somatic. Anyway, I'll get you to explain that later. Anyway, and you also like to travel a lot. So that's Bonnie and I, our little website is called The Healthy Wealthy Camper. And part of it is we were traveling around in the RV, interviewing people in the natural health industry. And so it's something, and especially Bonnie. Bonnie's spent 30 years in the natural health industry, and that's something she talks about weekly, daily. Anyway, Hanna, why don't you introduce yourself and how you help people?
Hello and good morning. Thank you, Greg, for a nice introduction. Well, I think I'm all about the natural health, if we can say that way, because that's been my passion. I grew up in a family of herbalists. My grandmother and grandfather knew, I think, almost everything about herbs and mushrooms and how to find healing herbs in the forest. So I had that passion. And right now, I'm helping people to understand their bodies better, understand the signals, and to live the healthy life, to maximize their potential, to be free, and to make the choices themselves without falling into lots of advertisements that are going on in the health industry right now. And KinesioSomatic is so I'm sports kinesiologist and naturopath, certified naturopath and herbalist. And at some point, I also did the certification in somatic movement. So I'm an educator in somatic movement. And I saw that both fields work amazing together. So I combined the knowledge of kinesiology, applied kinesiology, with the movement education and created certain exercises and tools that can be used to increase productivity, to reduce brain fog. And that's how the name KinesioSomatic came into life.
Yeah, that's great. So Bonnie and I traveled. Part of the reason we were traveling in the RV is we were interviewing people in the natural health industry, and we interviewed herbalists near Santa Cruz, and and Bonnie was involved with getting herbs and supplements legal in the United States.
Well, that particular herbalist was, yeah, back in the day, it wasn't really legal. And so he helped do the pharmacopoeia for herbs. Yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful man. But what I love what you've done, Hanna, is to weave in two modalities of healing that seem so natural together. I partner with a kinesiologist here in Merritt, British Columbia. And so it's such a cool thing because she helped me after a car accident. I had a big tight spot on my side and it was not going to release, but with her help, it did release and I was able to live normally again. Who's your favorite client to partner with? Are they men, women, older, younger, or is it from trauma? Who's your favorite client to partner with?
That's a great question, Bonnie. I would make a small remark. So I'm not just a kinesiologist. I'm applied sports kinesiologist. It's a medical field. So I got my certification from Australia. And it's slightly different from kinesiologists because this field of study is pretty long. Also, it's like all the study is I've been studying. And it covers everything in it. It covers psychological blocks, it covers biochemistry, it covers, of course, physiological and balancing the autonomous nervous system. That's the nervous system that all our reflexes come from. And I started with just, to be honest, partnering with everyone who have been facing chronic issues, who have been going to the doctors and everything seemed fine, the lab seems fine, but they still had issues. And later on in my way, I understood that more than 50% of my clients are men who are in demanding professions, especially where they need to where there's a pressure of decision making and creativity, such as engineers, IT leads, entrepreneurs. Where you have to be productive and where you have to use your brain all the time and see the patterns. I understand the difficulty of the field and how demanding it, not just to our brain, but also to our body. And ideally, I love to partner with them to guide them to understandings of their body and signals. And as I like to say, I'm not treating the burnout. I'm showing you the first symptoms of the burnout, the first lights that say, okay, something is going on, and explain how to deal with it, how to manage it. And there are more fields weaved into that. So I started Tibetan medicine in Nepal. And also Chinese medicine. Well, Chinese medicine, I started first to help, as Bonnie, you said, that kinesiologist helped you with the pain. So that's what led me to Chinese medicine at the beginning, because there is also a part where we work with spine, chronic issues, scoliosis, and pains. And I saw incredible results online and offline with the acupuncture and the principles of Chinese medicine, which are holistic. So is a Tibetan medicine. And yeah, I weave it all together because everyone is different. Everybody is different. And I don't have protocols. Even though in kinesiology there are protocols, in herbalism there are protocols, in homeopathy there are protocols. Most of the time, I'm not using protocols. I spend extensive time to understand what is going on with you, and what do you want it. How do you want to change? What you need in life, and then implement those changes absolutely stressless. One more thing, I think I need to say that all of the fields that I mentioned talk about one thing, that we can regenerate, our body can regenerate the bones, right? The cuts, it all is gone in a couple of months or sometimes a couple of days, right? This is the regenerative properties which we lost because of our way of living, because of our food, stress, and so on. So stress doesn't let us regenerate. So whatever we will add on that will bring more stress or pain to you, not really going to help. So my goal is to find the solutions that are not bringing more stress, so you can regenerate, you can really get to your body what it deserves. Let's put it this way.
Couldn't agree with you more, Hanna. Hanging out with people who are regenerating is phenomenal. In the last 5 years, I've been in the natural products industry since '89, and moving forward, I've seen many ways of modalities of healing. And like you said, they all have their benefits, but it sounds like you found this magic spot, in a sense, of being able to combine things to help people. And when you see someone regenerating, it is so amazing to see them light up and feel good again and recharge themselves, because it can be done. Although, as you pointed out, a lot of people think, oh, I'm getting old and this is the way it is. And then
I don't like that.
I know when you hear someone say that, you go, oh, and then I love just sharing with people, well, I'll be 70 this year. And a lot of people don't know it, because I don't act it. Number one, I don't move like that. I don't believe in that so much, because there's a funny saying here. Well, I've heard this over the many years. If I'd known how long I was going to live, I would have taken better care of myself, because people truly are living longer and longer. The only thing is, it's transferred from living longer to maybe not feeling well that last few years. So it's better to know that, like yourself, how you can help people live long, but live well to the end, and not have to face years and years of uncomfortableness or hanging out in hospitals or you know, with other people who are all moaning and groaning about how they feel. So could you give us a case, without their name, of course, of someone that you helped that was maybe an engineer or something of one of those interesting professions, that where they were and then what you helped them with and what the outcome was? Would that be possible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, most of the times I cannot give the names because
No, I wouldn't want that.
I do sign non-disclosure agreements often with people on our work. So regeneration is another field, and agility, of course, I pay a lot of attention to that, and this is another absolutely fascinating thing. Age is not the limit, and of course, you are as old as you think you are. I met so many people whose age you couldn't not just guess, you would. So just, I will give in a second the example of the engineers and the IT leads, executives, entrepreneurs. I have a couple in my pocket, but some of my teachers, like in Chinese medicine, for example, she's not my mentor, but I did learn with her. She turned 120 this year. And she gave an interview recently on Instagram about how the woman should keep herself healthy. And that's just incredible. And she's still working in China. She's still treating, she's a TCM doctor. She's still treating clients. In Tibet, I met people who live high in the mountains, and the only thing that shows their age is the teeth, because they actually don't have dental care, and plus they don't have enough nutrition for the teeth up in the mountains. But other than that, you would say, well, maybe 70, but in reality, they're 110, 120 sometimes. The neurosurgeon that had trained me in one of the modalities, not surgery, but one of the modalities, he's still operating people in Lithuania, and he's turning 80 this year. So age is not the limit. And the clients who come to me often say, oh, maybe, what am I complaining? Well, I'm 45, I worked all my life. So one of those people came to me. Okay, I can probably disclose the company, the Microsoft company engineer. And the problem was that he was just overwhelmed with this constant edge of you have to be productive, and he wanted to, and he loved to be productive. He loved what he was doing. However, because he hadn't been taking care of the body that much, a simple thing is like lymph flow, sitting a lot, right? So what I did, I gave him at the beginning just one thing to change to get the attention span better. That's what we started, just to get the attention span longer within the day. And this is something that anyone who's listening can try. Is we need, the people in those professions need their brain to always be curious to work. So the brain needs different kind of stimulation. And one of this kind of stimulation is the tactile diversity. So on your table, you can have different things, like different textures, right? Like this one, or like I have a stick like that, which I can roll around. And when you have these different tactile stimulations, when you think, you make it easier for your brain to find the solutions. So that's what I gave him. In general, in 2 months, I even have the pictures, even his posture. We know all the posture of the people. It's a hunchback, right? The head goes to the front. When the head goes to the front, you already block the blood flow to your brain, and we need to correct that. So in 2 months, he already had a better posture, better focus, and no brain fog. I also worked with a trader who came to me with a request. So he didn't have enough energy. By 3 p.m., he would already be drained. And another problem he shared with me is that, oh, I'm an experienced trader. I know everything about investment, but I do the same mistake over and over again. I would earn a lot, and then I would just lose it all. Even though I'm not addicted, I'm not a gambler. there was a problem with the nervous system and balanced nervous system. And after we worked together, after a couple of weeks, he came and said, "Wow, I didn't waste it all at once, and it's lasted, and I found a different strategy." So these small tools and small things working. One of those actually traveling. When you travel comfortably, when you travel the way you like, when you give your brain stimulation by the eyes can see different things, nature or even different towns, this is the stimulation that the brain needs to resolve challenges. Isn't that interesting?
I love those stories. What you just shared with us is so valuable for everyone listening today, to pay attention to the one thing, just one thing, as you said, for different things to touch, and taking a mindful minute, maybe several times a day. That is an incredible story. Just that one thing that you were sharing was like caught my ear and eye. And I actually had a training with another gal the other day, and it's incredible. And she teaches that particular thing of how to calm and balance the brain. And it was that very thing of just stopping, breathing, and touching something, even if it's your fingertips. She says you'll start calming the whole system down. And what you shared is once they can do that, then everything else starts getting easier and better, and they can perform better. Those are wonderful stories that help. And so do you work worldwide? Are people doing this online with you or in person?
I work worldwide, yeah. I do travel a lot to do the workshops, but mostly the one-on-one work or the programs, they are online, yes. The people can come and visit me. I have a number of offices in different towns in Europe and in California, but mostly online, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This thing with the balancing the nervous system is one thing, but what I shared, it's a tactile overstimulation, we can call it.
Mm-hmm.
But that gives the brain the challenge. It doesn't calm you down and balance the system, but it gives this challenge to switch the brain. We need to switch the brain from one thing to another when we're dealing with the complex task as, well, let's say developing the code or even putting the numbers together. And when it doesn't work, when we lose the productivity, we need to give something else to the brain for a couple of seconds. And this tactile overstimulation, like different stones, shells, knots even, that can help.
Oh, that is fascinating. Well, Greg, do you have some questions for Hanna?
Yeah, I just want to, you mentioned that you did some training in Nepal and Australia. You spent some time in Ireland. You're currently in Poland. You've lived in Germany. You've been to the US. So you've pretty widely traveled. And so this idea of travel is being regenerating, resonates with us because Bonnie and I like to travel. And we spend quite a bit of time traveling.
Well, I need to say there are a couple more countries that we can add to my atlas. So what are you doing? What Greg and Bonnie, what you're doing? More people need to know about it, because one of the solutions I give the solution for free for anyone who is listening is when you don't have time for coaching, or when you need something right now to change the way you work, the way you feel, is travel. Just travel, even if this is to just another town. But as I said, on the biochemical level and neurological level, travel is that one magic pill that can make a huge difference in your life. And not talking, we talked with Greg when we met that another thing, of course, you become more diverse. But what do you mean by diverse? Is it just because you understand other cultures? Yes, you do understand other cultures, but also when you travel, you see different ways, different way of making coffee, different way of making tea, different way of putting sentences together. What does it do to your brain? If we stay in my field, in anatomy and neuroscience, what does it do to your brain? It adds more neural passages. So there's just, so you can imagine it as you have a map and you traveled here, here, here. So you have these red flags, and this is the only ways that you know how to travel. When you have this new ways suddenly, okay, in a different way to make coffee, or a different way to make a sentence or use a word, your brain just have more options. And from those options, you already can resolve tasks differently. So travel is this one magic thing, that magic pill that solves almost everything, I guess.
Travel therapy.
Yeah, travel therapy. Maybe that's what we should start doing.
There we
Travel
go.
therapy, there we go.
I couldn't agree
Whole new
with you
program.
more, Hanna, though. Traveling just opens all the senses, all the eyes, how people live. It is absolutely fascinating. And when I meet people who travel a lot, they are kinder a lot of times. They see people as beings, sentient beings. They see them as real people. Whereas if you're always I've met people who've been in the same town, never left a town, and they're more closed a lot of times. And then, but the people who travel, I do see that it opens everything about them.
You have a perspective. You have
yes,
a broader
yes.
perspective when you travel. Yeah.
I traveled right after 9/11. My mother and I had a trip to China already pre-planned for a year, actually. And the planes were barely flying the week after, but my mother and I left anyway. We got on the plane and we went to China. And it was called A Spiritual Journey. And my mother and I were going, it was with a tour group, and we were going from temple to temple. And while we were in this one temple, our group created a circle in a prayer. Suddenly, we were surrounded by another group surrounding us, knowing that we were from US and Canada. And they prayed for us. It was the most, it still gives me tingles, because they saw us, they saw the trauma, and they were just giving us love and protection. I'll never forget that. That was just such an incredible feeling. And there was no language spoken, by the way. I mean, we didn't speak Chinese and they didn't speak English. It was just incredible. Yeah.
That was Buddhist culture, right? That was
What was
Buddhism. What was it? Buddhism, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I generally find it very interesting to travel to Buddhist countries. And since I lived in Nepal, but in Tibetan community, so Buddhist, it's such a different world.
Yes.
And gives absolutely a different perspective. And recently I lived in Bangkok, and it's incredible. There are thousands, millions of people. You know, Bangkok is crowded. I lived in other capitals, like I lived in Paris, I lived in London and Berlin, Lisbon. They're crowded, but nothing as crowded as Bangkok. But at the same time, you walk and there's just rivers of people underneath the cars, and you feel this safety and calm. Everyone is calm. Yes, they are in a hurry, but they're in a hurry not to damage the universe.
Yes.
The whole concept of living is different. It's not avoiding the conflict. It's more living in the universe where I'm not causing the conflict and I'm not causing you to have a conflict. So let's find a solution in a peaceful manner, and that changes everything.
Yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful trip. And if I want to recall and feel really good, I recall that moment of being surrounded by another group of people in love and in just, and like, as you said, in peace and love. And it was just so warming, you know, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Bonnie and I didn't know each other, but I was also in Asia just after 9/11. So I was in Singapore and Malaysia and India.
Yeah. Well, I cannot wait to learn more about all that you do, Hanna. It's just been such a pleasure to learn how one person, yourself, can transform and help so many around this beautiful world.
Oh, that's an amazing compliment. I'm feeling humble. Well, I mean, I would say that I just, as many people who are working in the field of health and nutrition, healthcare, I think that most of us are coming to the profession because we had issues, because we had troubles. And that's how it started with me. Well, besides that, I'm coming from the family. So my grandmother and grandfather, of course, I was always observing them with fascination. And whomever got sick, we never reached for pills, right? We reached for folk remedies and herbs. And my grandfather would go to the forest and point out to every mushroom and then point out to every bird and say, okay, that if the bird is over there, there is that berry, and the berry can be used for that and that. But beside of that, when I was 21, I've been waking up with a lot of pain because I have been training martial arts almost all my life since I was 6, and I had a fair amount of injuries. Some more severe, some less severe, and I did have 4 concussions in my life. 3 of them were because of martial arts. And I was 21. I was finishing my first higher education, and I realized that I cannot focus. I cannot read the page until the end, and I was waking up with pains caused by the previous injuries. And the doctors just said, "Well, that's the way it's going to be. That's it. What do you want? You have every ligament on both of your ankles torn or been broken. What do you want?" Right? And I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree, and I started searching. That's how I finished my first education, and then I got into sports kinesiology, and then I got a Chinese medicine, later into herbalism because I have been searching. And after I started studying kinesiology, I got a mentor, and he was a doctor professor. He was treating me to, after 2 months, when I woke up in the morning without a single pain in my body. And I did finish the university. I have written all my theses and had good grades, and I was very happy. But I was understood that there's so many people out there who probably facing the same issues, and they are ready to give up. So I just felt that I have to show people that it's easier to be healthy. It's not a hard work, and everything can be changed. Almost every diagnosis can be addressed, managed for sure, but can be addressed. And there are more than one way. So you mentioned why there's so many intersections. Why do I weave? Because I don't believe that there is one way. I don't believe that there is one magic pill besides travel. So that's why I was looking for more solutions, because everyone needs something different or a different variation of it. That's how I came to do what I'm doing.
That's perfect. So speaking of travel, Bonnie and I are traveling to Vancouver. That's about 3.5 hour drive from here. And my sister is coming down from Haida Gwaii, and which is sort of near Alaska. It's a long way. And
Wow.
she has a market garden on a little farm there that she's and she's coming down to Vancouver. Her daughter lives in Vancouver. So we've got to hit the road, but this is great. And we're planning to get to Europe in the next while, and we'll try to meet up with you somewhere.
Oh.
I would be absolutely happy. I am traveling a lot. Right when we met, Greg, I was actually in Germany, and in a couple of days I'm going to be in Turkey.
Oh
So
my
I do
goodness.
travel. Yeah, I do
So it's
travel
going to be a
lot.
fun map. Where's Hanna?
You know, at some point, I moved from my parents when I was 17. And at some point, my mom wasn't asking me in which country you are. She started asking, which continent are you?
What fun. Well, you're
Yeah.
an amazing woman with so much to share. I just adored meeting you today. Thank you so much.
So we'll have to do it
Uh,
again.
Yeah, everyone who's listening, maybe I can make a small announcement since I said that I'm very passionate to give opportunities to people to understand and discover their body and their brain more. So this month I'm running absolutely free. You don't need to do anything. You just need to sign up and find the time. One-on-one challenge with me. It's 5 days, one-on-one work with me until we reach the result. It's called Focus Reboot. So it's dedicated mostly when you have issues of concentration, brain fog, you want to be more productive, and it's going to be running only this week. So we're starting, the first group is starting tomorrow, which will be 4th of April. But there's going to be one more group. So if someone would want to get in, maybe somehow we can leave the link so they can sign up.
What does it entail? Does it entail a certain amount of time at a certain time of day, or is it something that we come on and then we learn and then we practice it during the day?
No, it's one-on-one. It's one-on-one. Yes, it's every day. You will be meeting with me one-on-one for a short session where I will monitor the progress. We'll find a tool for you, and that's how we're going to be working for 5 days.
Fabulous. That's amazing. Thank you for that offer for our audience. Take Hanna up on it.
Can they get there through the link that's on the screen there?
No, the link is on the screen. It's just the website. Can we change the link, or can we?
Yeah. Well, can you put it in the comment?
Yes, I can. Just 1 second. Here you go. You also can sign up if you want. Well, we're starting tomorrow with the first group, but if you don't have time for the next 5 days, then you can sign up for a second group.
It might be the second group. We're on the road.
Yeah, there will be the second group. Yeah. So I'm running this month. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. Okay, we'll put this out to the world. So this is
the most fun part of what we do. Get to talk to people all around the world. I was chatting with a lady in Italy the other day, and it was just so much fun.
It's absolutely great. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So there's a link.
Focus.Hanna Kinez?
Yeah, there is a link.
.com. Yeah, everyone. Take the full experience, what Hanna has to offer. I know you'll be extremely happy when you do that.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. And anyway, I hope to see you in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Hanna. Have a blessed rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.